from Paul. Why do you want more sex and swearing in the movies? The Bible says no foul language should come from your mouth. It is possible to have great stories without them. Many great films have been made without them, as the golden age of Hollywood attests. Are you possibly afraid to get close enough to God that you think your personality and writing will suffer? There will be a change, but for the better. The Christian entertainment industry needs talent, not more B movies like we have too much of. And the Christian body needs authentic biblical Christians with substance and power. It seems that you endorse Christian principles to a degree, but you're avoiding having an up-close personal relationship with God. That is just what comes across to me. Love your show, except for the complaining about sex and swearing in the movies. All right, let me explain. The reason that we have so many B movies coming out of the Christian community is because the Christian community serves people who, when they are thinking of themselves as Christians, will not watch real life. They think that God is the God of Candyland, where people don't swear, where people don't have sex, where if people have sex, they get pregnant or they get punished. None of those things is true. And so all those stories are not representing real life. That's what makes them B movies. To give you an example, when I wrote the first draft of Another Kingdom, so it's not like I haven't explored this, I felt Another Kingdom, I still feel Another Kingdom is a novel, now almost a trilogy, that would have a lot of appeal to people with a Christian worldview. It's not a Christian book per se, but I thought Christian people would understand it at a different depth than other people. And so I thought, well, why offend people? Because I know they feel the way you feel. And I thought, why offend people? I'll leave out all the swearing. I had to rewrite the book and put the swearing back in. I actually put in too much because I overcompensated. Then when I went back to the novel, which is coming out March 5th, when I came back to the novel, I took some of it out again because I felt I had overdone it. It didn't sound real. It didn't sound right. It sounded absurd. It sounded like I was making up a squeaky clean character who talked in a way that no one today talks. The golden age of movies, during the golden age of Hollywood, people did curse, but they didn't curse in polite society, and the movies were part of polite society. Now people have foul mouths all the time. They can't even on CNN. They can't even go for a couple of weeks without uttering a four-letter word on TV. So the world has just changed, and I cannot realistically represent the world of which God is king without putting in sex and swearing. And by the way, there's plenty of sex in the great old movies. They just did it off screen, but it all happens. I mean, Casablanca is about an act of adultery. That's the central moment in the movie. It just happens off screen. So, look, I don't write, graphic sexual scenes, but I do write things that people think about, and they think sexually. Men especially think sexually all the time, and they think of women in sexual ways. And without recording that, I cannot write reality, and that's what writing is about. It is about writing reality. God is God of the real world. He is not God of Candyland, and that is why these Christian movies don't move the ball downfield at all. I don't hate them. I think they're like rom-coms. Girls like to go to rom-coms because they show them their fantasies played out. There's nothing wrong with that. Christians like to go to Christian movies because they show them their fantasy of what the Christian world is like. And then when they're not being Christians, they go watch Game of Thrones because it shows them the real world. If you want good Christian work, you want Christian work in the real world. By the way, at its greatest, Christian art was filled with sexuality and with violence. I always say that the book that really made me a Christian was Crime and Punishment, which is the story of an axe murderer who falls in love with a hooker. That's the greatest Christian, in my opinion, that's the greatest Christian novel ever written. Try selling that in a Christian bookstore today. You couldn't, and that's a loss for Christianity. That's my answer.